Welcome back to the only sanctuary in the digital world where we refuse to accept the surface-level narrative. Welcome to Whatever You Need. Today, we are not here to discuss a simple Instagram detox, or a celebrity taking a break from the flashing lights. We are here to analyze an insurrection. We are here to dissect a rebellion against the modern machinery of fame. Today, the air is thick with whispers, stifled sighs, and heated comments on social media. The name dominating every conversation from Istanbul to Rome is Demet Özdemir, while the magnetic shadow of Yaman lingers like a shiver in the background. For days, their bond, never fully explained yet ever present like a song we cannot stop humming, has reignited. And this time, it is not because of a stolen snapshot or an unexpected video. It is because of a rumor emanating from the most sacred of places, the family unit that Demet has always discreetly protected. We are going to talk about all of this in this video. Because this story isn't just a love story. It is a story of generational clash, parental fear, and the impossible choices public figures face. And what you will hear at the end might completely change your perspective on what it means to love under the spotlight. So do not click away. The truth is often found in the silence. Before we dive into the deep end, please ensure you are subscribed to our channel. If you value this kind of deep dive journalism, hit the like button, and for those who want to support our mission directly, the join button is waiting for you. Become a part of the Whatever You Need family today. Now, let's unravel the mystery. In recent days, the ever-present, undefined connection between Demet Özdemir and Yaman has thrust them back into the center of the media storm. This resurgence is not fueled by a paparazzi photograph of a secret dinner or a cryptic social media post. Instead, the fuel comes from a much more intimate source. According to rumors leaked to a close circle and subsequently whispered throughout the industry, Demet's father has expressed harsh, unequivocal words regarding the alleged relationship between his daughter and Can. In a confidential conversation, they say, he uttered a sentence that is as clear as it is devastating, a statement that feels almost like a stone-stamped decree. I will never allow my daughter to have a relationship with that man. A sentence of this magnitude, if confirmed, is not just a dramatic turn of events in a soap opera, it is an earthquake capable of shifting already fragile balances. It calls into question every gesture, every photo, every shared silence, and every stolen kiss that exists in the collective memory of their fans. It forces a re-evaluation of their entire history. It is impossible not to think back to how it all began, their meeting on the set of Erkan Kuss. We remember the complicity that seemed to grow organically between coffee breaks, a rehearsed dialogue that felt too real, a laugh shared without calculation. Fans still talk reverently about those first behind-the-scenes images, the videos where Demet and Can, seemingly unaware of the lens, exchanged eloquent glances and a physical closeness that felt like a promise waiting to be kept. Over time, for the audience at least, the line between character and person became blurred. The filming gave way to a perception of a relationship that many interpreted as real, intense, but perhaps too complex to be easily understood. Every on-screen shot became evidence, every off-screen silence a clue, every public step a coded message. Yet, behind this enchantment lies a reality of immense pressure, expectations, and families who are watching, judging, and fearing. The words attributed to Demet's father, according to those who claim to have heard them, do not stem from a place of personal dislike for Yaman. Rather, they stem from a long-standing, deep-seated paternal concern. Protecting his daughter from the high, destructive waves of fame and noisy headlines. The fear is not of the man himself, but of the ecosystem that surrounds him. The belief, whispered by those in the know, is that the constant stream of controversy that seems to follow Yaman, his overwhelming media presence, and the inevitable conflicts that plague highly public lives could become an unbearable burden for Demet. In that sentence, "I won't allow it," seems to resonate the echo of a father clenching his fists, longing to stop time, and wanting desperately to take his daughter back to the one place where no one can hurt her, a place that no longer exists for a star of her magnitude. Friends and colleagues say that Demet listened to all of this with a broken heart. She is torn between two identities. On one hand, she is the accomplished actress capable of handling complex roles, of smiling under the most intense spotlights, of entering a scene with the grace of someone who has learned to walk within dreams. On the other, she is a woman who desires to make decisions for herself, to build her own private life without having to explain it to the world or her family, to defend her own sensitivity. In recent days, those who work with her on set and behind the camera have noticed an almost imperceptible change. Demet answers professional questions delicately but lets personal curiosities slide with a newfound firmness. She has reduced informal meetings with journalists, allowed herself longer periods of silence, and chosen not to offer words that could be interpreted as either confirmations or denials. Her gaze, they say, has become more focused, as if she is measuring every step, acutely aware that right now, every step makes noise. And what of Can? The man who, for better or for worse, never goes unnoticed, has this time chosen a radically different approach. He has not uttered a single syllable publicly. There have been no statements, no comments, no cryptic posts that leave room for interpretation. It is a silence that divides opinion. For some, it is the only correct choice. The most discreet way to prevent a private family matter from becoming a grotesque public spectacle. For others, it is a strategic silence, a desire to wait for the right moment to speak out, or perhaps an attempt to shield Demet from further pressure by not adding his voice to the cacophony. Some gossip columnists, well versed in the grammar of the unsaid, speculate that Can is consciously avoiding adding fuel to the fire, calmly letting the tide pass before addressing the situation on his own terms. Meanwhile, social media has become a crowded gladiatorial arena. Two opposing views flow through the comments section, alternating like powerful tides. On one side, there are those who staunchly defend Demet's autonomy, her right to choose who to open her heart to. They remind everyone that a strong, independent woman in her 30s does not need anyone's permission, not even her father's, to express her feelings. Phrases like "Demet is old enough to decide" reverberate in every language. On the other side are those who support the family's position. They are convinced that parental protection, especially in the face of a relentless media storm, is precious and necessary. They argue that the family only wants what's best for her. These arguments are adorned with old images of the couple, emotional clips, and heart emojis that appear and disappear like sparks in a restless night. Then there are the photos that keep resurfacing, those stolen moments between scenes where their hands seem to touch naturally, where an infectious laugh bridges the distance. And now, with the new rumors about Demet's father's opposition, those same images take on a poignantly different flavor. For some, they confirm the strength of a feeling that resists everything. For others, they are the melancholy sign of a story that risks fraying under the friction of reality. We must pause here to acknowledge the weight of this situation. This is no longer just about celebrity gossip, it's about family dynamics and adult autonomy. What is your take? Does a father have the right to forbid a relationship for an adult daughter, even if his intentions are protective? Or should Demet be free to make her own choices, regardless of the consequences? We want to hear your thoughtful perspectives in the comments below. And remember, if you appreciate this level of nuanced analysis, the join button is the best way to support our work. Those who know Demet speak of a luminous sensitivity. She knows how to laugh contagiously and cry only when no one is looking. She has gradually built a respected artistic identity, built on discipline, passion, and kindness to everyone. The idea that family criticism could cut her like a thin blade worries her fans deeply. In the last few hours, they have begun sending her messages of support, photos with dedications, words that strive to become a hug across the digital divide. A wave of collective protection can be felt, as if the entire public wanted to tell her, "Take your time, choose for yourself, not for us." In the face of so much turmoil, the the question that recurs most is simple and painful: what happens now? If Demet's father truly has set such a strict boundary, will that boundary become an immovable wall, or a line to be redrawn through dialogue? Will Can agree to remain in the shadows until the family storm subsides, or will he decide to open a window, to speak with restraint, to explain that his intention is not to hurt but to protect? No one can say for sure. Sincere stories, when they touch raw nerves, need to breathe without microphones pointed at them. Meanwhile, in the newsrooms of entertainment programs and in the corridors of magazines, the phones are ringing and scoops are pouring in. Some swear they saw Demet leaving an event with an expression of deep thought. Others say that Can postponed non-essential appearances to avoid misunderstandings. Others deny it all, saying it's all part of the routine of two very busy professionals. Amid these conflicting versions, however, the crucial point remains: those words attributed to Demet's father have ignited a harsh light, and the couple, real or not, must now navigate it without getting burned. It's also useful to remember how the times have taught both of them to live with incessant attention. Can knows the power and danger of media exposure, how a gesture can be extrapolated and transformed into a headline. Demet, for her part, has learned to separate the scene from life, to draw a line where curiosity shouldn't cross. And yet, when it's the family involved, every boundary becomes thinner, because the love that protects can sometimes be confused with the fear that holds back. Some insiders whisper that this could be the ultimate test. If their bond is truly as many imagine, it will find a way to survive, perhaps by changing pace, perhaps by asking for a little space. If, however, it was primarily the audience that wove a story from professional understandings and hallway whispers, then the echoes of this outcry will slowly die down, leaving us with a lesson in how easy it is to mistake the light of the stage for the sun of the heart. Meanwhile, Demet, they say, stubbornly dedicates herself to what she knows best: work. Her commitment on set becomes a refuge, the script a compass. It's not an escape, but a way to remind herself who she is, above all labels. Between takes, she respects silence, but she never stops smiling at the team, thanking those around her, and building a precious normalcy. And when, inevitably, someone asks her about Can, she chooses the elegance of the unspoken. A glint in her eye, now let's think about the project, that feels more like a promise to herself than a refusal. Can, for his part, appears as a man who weighs his words, who knows the power of a deliberately missed gesture. No suggestive posts, no flirtatious remarks. A low profile that contrasts with his public image, often accustomed to charisma and the stage. It's as if he's saying without saying it, this isn't the time to expose, it's the time to protect. If we were to read this story like a screenplay, we might be at the turning point, that moment when the protagonists understand that their fate depends not only on how they feel, but also on how they choose to tell the world about it. And here's a detail worth highlighting: neither of them has ever exploited the scandal to gain attention. When the storm approaches, Demet and Can tend to shelter, to step back, to communicate with gestures rather than words. Perhaps that's why they're so popular, because, beyond the icon, we glimpse the fragility of two people trying to protect something delicate in a place where everything is amplified. So let's return to that sentence that resonates like a gong. I will never allow my daughter to have a relationship with that man. It's a sentence that hurts. What will Can think when he hears it? Perhaps he'll grit his teeth, perhaps he'll understand the profound meaning of a father trying to protect. And perhaps, later, when the noise has subsided, there will be room for a quiet encounter, for softer words. For now, what remains is a present made of suppressed sighs, phones that vibrate, messages arriving privately, requests not to comment. The scent of a story that refuses to be crushed by judgment remains. The question remains that no one can put to rest: was what we saw in the eyes of these two artists just fiction, or was there some truth in it? And if there was some truth in it, will it have the strength to overcome this task too? We, for our part, will continue to follow every step with the care it deserves, without shouting more than necessary, without pushing through a door that perhaps needs to remain ajar. The public deserves the truth, but the truth takes time. And time, when respected, can heal wounds, soften words, and transform the harshest sentences into opportunities for understanding. Thank you for joining us for this deep and difficult journey into the heart of a family and a potential love story. This has been a special presentation by Whatever You Need. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. And for those who want to support high-quality, empathetic storytelling, the join button is waiting for you. Until next time, remember to respect the silence as much as the noise. Goodbye.